Hello everyone. We are once again at the end of another month here at the end of September 2024, which means that our stats through the end of August 2024 are now available. So let's get into the numbers for Winter Haven, Florida. This is your Winter Haven, Florida real estate market update for September 2024. Closed sales, we had 91 closed sales compared to 85 a year ago, an increase of 7.1%. Cash sales as a percentage of closed sales, we had 18.7% of all sales were cash sales. That's compared to 24.7% a year ago, a decrease of 24.3%. Median sales price $288,000 compared to $310,000 a year ago, a decrease of 7.1%, and then average sales price $278,372 compared to $294,389, a decrease of 5.4%. Probably the biggest year-over-year decrease we've seen in home prices in quite some time for the city of Winter Haven. Median percent of original list price 96.7% compared to 97.3% a year ago, a decrease of 0.6%. So sellers are receiving a little less than they were a year ago. Median time to contract is 37 days. That's compared to 46 days a year ago, a decrease of 19.6%. So homes, believe it or not, are actually going under contract a little faster. Median time to sale 72 days compared to 94 days a year ago, a decrease of 23.4%. New pending sales 94 compared to 84 a year ago, an increase of 11.9%. New listings 145 new listings compared to 105 a year ago, an increase of 38.1%. Pending inventory 97 compared to 105, a decrease of 7.6%. And then active inventory 403 homes active in Winter Haven compared to 266 a year ago, an increase of 51.5%. Again, that is a big reason that we saw home prices drop. And then month supply of inventory, we have 5 months supply of inventory compared to 3.6 months supply of inventory a year ago, an increase of 38.9%. Please remember that 6% or 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. 5, while still a seller's market, is almost a balanced market. Anything more than 6 months is a buyer's market. Tune in and we'll talk a little bit about what all this means for you moving forward. So definitely proved to be an interesting month. August, typically we see more sales in the early part of the month, and then when the kids go back to school in this area, we tend to see sales slow down a little bit. But year over year, they actually remain pretty constant from August 2023 to August 2024. The biggest difference between last year and this year is the increase of inventory. Seeing an increase of inventory like we have of 66.4% is significant, and is going to have an impact on home prices. And so I think that's why we saw home prices drop. Now, what's interesting is I expect September will look pretty different. The Federal Reserve has already dropped the rate, the borrowing rate overall, which, while not having a direct impact on mortgage rates, just the rumor of that happening, we started to see interest rates dropping throughout August into early September. And so we've started to see an increase in mortgage applications. So if you see an increase in mortgage applications, what you're usually going to see is more home buyers on the market. And so that is going to affect our inventory overall, I think. The Federal Reserve has also shared that they intend to lower rates a couple more times here in the next few months. I suspect that we will see rates drop to maybe even below 6% here in the next several months. And I think when that happens, we're really going to see the buyers kind of flood back to the market. We're also approaching the time of year here in Polk County where the snowbirds come down, and some of them will be looking to buy houses in 55 and up communities in particular, as they decide they don't want to deal with another winter up north. And so I think we'll see an increase of activity from that perspective as well. And so What does this all mean if you're thinking of selling? I think it makes sense to get your home on the market, but it's important that you price your home right. If your home is overpriced or not in good condition, it is going to sit on the market for a while. If your home is priced right and in good condition, then I would expect it will sell within 30 days or so. But we are seeing homes stay on the market. We're having homes that need to, that the original listing agreement expires and are having to be renewed. And a lot of that's because homes were not priced where they needed to be. Could be the agent's fault and not analyzing the market. Could also be the seller's fault for not listening to the advice and wanting to try to get the most they can, which is certainly understandable. If you do have a home on the market and you're getting impatient, my recommendation is that you look at your price. Have your agent look at, do another market analysis and see if you're still on market or if you're overpriced. And if you're overpriced, you need to be aggressive and drop it. If you're a buyer, now is a good time to get out there before the other buyers do get out there. You're going to see an increase in competition the longer you wait. And you're going to see sellers less willing to give in on price and seller concessions. So now is the time where you can get a good price on a home. You can probably also get a seller to give you some seller concessions and walk away with a pretty good deal. New home inventory has been increasing. Sales slowed a little bit in the new home market, but the builders are actually pretty excited and enthusiastic about the market right now. So they're building and they're willing to offer incentives because they can afford to do so. So you can get interest rate buy downs to below 5%. I've seen with some builders. I've seen full closing costs paid by builders. And appliance packages, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of incentives for you out there as a buyer for new home construction. We have a lot of new home communities, no matter what city in Polk County you're interested in. There's a lot of new construction going up. Even in places like Lake Alfred and Lake Wales that typically haven't seen as much, we're seeing a lot of big new home communities going there. The best thing you can do is stay informed on the market. It is changing pretty quickly. And there's a lot of different things that factor into what happens with the market. We're also seeing a typical slowdown in the market because we have an election coming up. The irony is that no matter which party gets elected, after the election, we see home purchasing activity increase. The market picks up. And it doesn't matter historically which party wins. All that matters is the election is over and there's some certainty in terms of who the leadership is. And what we historically have seen is the housing market really picks up after a presidential election. So if you're waiting till after, you're going to have that competition. You're probably going to see an increase in home prices, and so you're going to pay more for the home. I think, again, it's another reason to get out there on the market and purchase something sooner rather than later. If you wait, you're going to pay more for the same home. Anyway, I hope you found this information helpful. I want to talk just real quickly here, kind of switch gears and just talk a little bit about my philosophy, and because it's come up in a number of listing presentations I've been on lately and a number of presentations I've done with buyers recently. And that is that you will hear a lot of agents refer to themselves as salespeople. And in fact, legally that's what we're called, sales agents. I really don't view the work that way because I don't think it's my job to convince you to buy or sell a home. That should be your decision. That should happen on your timeline. My job is to advise you. It's to give you information on what's happening in the market and how that might impact your decision to buy or sell a home. And then for me to step out of the way and let you make the best decision for you. And then I need to be ready when you're ready, right? And so how is that different and why is that important? A salesperson is trying to get a sale. And so think about when you go to a car dealership, right? That salesperson is trying to get you to buy a car. And they're trying to convince you to buy a car from them. In the real estate industry, you will sometimes hear agents talk to you about and even script how to get you to list your home with them right then and there, or how to work with them and buy this particular home because it's the right home for you. And again, I don't think that's how real estate sales should work. It's simply too big of an investment. And so I much rather work on the perspective of being an advisor and consultant to you. Yes, at the end of the day, I make my living by this, but I'm working with enough people that I'm not dependent on your particular deal, if you will, closing when I need it to close. Rather, I have enough things going on where I'm going to still be able to put food on the table because I'm working with other people. And I would rather you make the decision that's in your best interest rather than in my best interest. And a salesperson, and this is not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but a salesperson is trying to help have you make a sale with them on their timeline. And I think there's a big difference there. So just wanted to kind of share that perspective. It keeps coming up in conversations, and the more I talk about it, the more passionate I feel about that being really what my role is. Now, if you list a home with me, is it my job to sell the home? Absolutely, and I use my marketing skills and all of that to try to get your home sold. But that's not necessarily being a salesperson. That's being a marketer. And getting your home exposed to as many people as I can. And so I just think there's a really big difference between the two. And that's my philosophy. That's how I work. So if that's what you're looking for in a realtor, someone that's going to advise and consult you and help you make the best decision for you, then I encourage you to give me a call, send me an email, send me a text. I'd love to work with you. If you're more interested in someone who's aggressive and gonna be salesy, then I'm actually probably not the agent for you, because that's just not who I am and how I do business. Anyway, I hope you found this information helpful. I just felt I needed to get that out there too, just because it's really become very clear to me kind of how this philosophy works for me. Anyway. If you know of anyone looking to buy or sell in Central Florida, I hope you'll refer them to me. And remember, you can't miss with Chris. Have a great day, everybody.